Hey, what's up, everyone? So, if you're a creator or you're running a small brand in Nigeria or anywhere across Africa, and you're looking for real, sustainable growth, you're in exactly the right place. This is your playbook. Let's dive right in.
Okay, let's be real for a second. Does this sound familiar? You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but the algorithm just keeps changing the rules on you. And all that advice from, the big US influencers, it just falls flat here, right? Because our culture, data costs, our entire daily life, it's just a different world.
This is where the big mindset shift comes in. Forget chasing the algorithm. I mean, it's exhausting, it's unpredictable, it'll drive you crazy. Instead, we're going to focus on building a system, something that's steady, strategic, and most importantly, is built to work for you and your audience. All right, so this gets us to the core idea here. Look, there are no secret hacks, no magic tricks. Real, sustainable growth, it comes from building repeatable systems. And I love how the source material frames this. It says, systems beat moods. Think about that for a second. You just can't wait until you feel inspired to post, right? A system makes sure you're showing up consistently, with relevance and speed. And that is exactly what the African market rewards.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, great, how do I actually build this system? Well, it really boils down to two things: what you're posting and who you're posting for. Let's get into your content and community engine.
So, to keep things consistent, but not, boring, you've got to use the 70-20-10 rule. So, 70% of your stuff, that's your bread and butter, the formats you already know work for your audience. Then 20% is for experimenting with emerging formats you're seeing. And that last 10%, that's your lab. That's for the wild, out there tests. This mix keeps your page feeling both dependable and exciting.
So what are these proven formats? Okay, here are 5 absolute gems you can start using like today. Before-after bridge stories are fantastic. Duetting or stitching wins from other local creators builds community. Quick tips pulled from longer interviews are easy wins. And that one about the carousel explainers with a checklist, that is gold. People absolutely love to save those for later. Finally, don't forget to shout out your community partners. All right, let's have a quick chat about followers. Chasing that huge follower count, honestly, it's mostly a vanity metric. It just burns out small teams. The real magic, the real power is in building these small, super engaged micro communities. You can think of them as engaged pods on platforms like WhatsApp or Telegram. This gives you real depth and builds actual trust. It's the difference between something that looks good and something that actually works. Okay, so how do you figure out what your audience loves, but like fast? You use something called creative sprints. It's a simple idea. For 2 weeks, you go all in on creating, but with a specific rule, a constraint. Like, I'm only going to record videos outdoors. This little game forces you to get creative, and you learn what resonates so much faster. Okay, so your content engine is fired up. Now, let's plug it into something called a growth flywheel. This is a system that basically powers itself and gives you true ownership over your audience. Okay, check this out. It's called the signal boosting loop, and it's brilliant. Step 1, you post a short, punchy reel. Step 2, you go live to dive deeper into that same topic. Step 3, you capture that interest by driving everyone to a WhatsApp group or your newsletter. Then you just repeat it. And here's a great local tip. Try posting during those peak commute times in West Africa time. Think 7:30 to 9 a.m. That's when everyone's on their phones.
And the whole point of that loop, the ultimate goal, is to get this zero-party data flywheel going. By giving away something valuable, like a free checklist or a mini course, you earn their email or their WhatsApp number. This is huge. It means you own that contact info. You're not just renting space on Instagram's platform anymore.
All right, we've got the content, we're building an audience. Now for the part everyone's been waiting for. How do we turn all this effort into actual revenue? Here's a super simple but crazy effective sales formula that works right inside your DMs. First, you hook them with social proof, like a customer testimonial. Then you clearly state the problem they're facing. Then you show them exactly how your product or service is the solution. And finally, you give them a reason to act now with a deadline. This is killer for Instagram DMs, but it's especially powerful on WhatsApp, which, as you know, is where a ton of business gets done across Africa. And listen, this isn't just some theory. It actually works. There's this case study of a Lagos fashion brand. They started doing a weekly market day just for their WhatsApp VIP list. And the results were just incredible. Their sales became steady, predictable. And get this, their returns actually went down because they were building real relationships with their customers first.
So here's the bottom line, and it's so important. Stop obsessing over reach. Reach is nice, but revenue wins, period. So start tracking the metrics that actually matter for your business. What's your cost per comment, per save, per DM, per new subscriber? That's what tells you if your system is actually working.
Okay, I know that was a ton of information. So let's break it all down and make it super practical. Here's your first move. First up, let's talk about what not to do. Think of this as a quick checkup for your strategy. Copying US posting times, chasing follower numbers instead of saves and shares, ignoring WhatsApp, or jumping on trends with no local flavor. Be honest, are you doing any of these? Because if you are, now's the perfect time to stop. And now, here is your super simple 4-step roadmap to get started. First, audit your last 30 posts. Find what hooks people. Second, just focus. Pick one loop and one sprint to try for the next 2 weeks. Third, write your welcome message for your new WhatsApp group. And fourth, make a simple one-page rate card for potential partners. That's it. 4 simple steps. You can totally do this. And let's wrap up with this final thought, because it really is the whole point. Building a real system, it's not about getting lucky with one viral video. It's about being prepared, being strategic. So when that next algorithm change hits, and you know it will, you're not scrambling. You're ready.